Hello and welcome to AMG Time and Attendance system video tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how to add and configure users. First of all, go to Tools section, open Users menu and select Configure submenu. This window is intended to view the list of all users, add new users, edit and delete already existing ones. By default there is always one administrator user who has all permissions in the system and cannot be deleted or made inactive. In this window you can also filter users by some criteria, generate report about users, and adjust the table's columns to optimize visibility by hiding and showing columns and also changing the order of visible columns. For adding a new user, you should click on the Add button. The system will ask you whether you want to copy permissions from another user or not. If you want the new user to have the same permissions as one of the existing users, click Yes. Otherwise, click No. If clicking Yes, the system will suggest you selecting which user's permissions you want to copy. If you select Administrator, then please note that the new user will have administrator's permissions but won't be an administrator, which means that he can be later deleted or set inactive. As a result will be opened Add User window. Here can be stored the following information about user: username, which should be unique, password, which should be entered twice. From the current headquarter combo box, select the headquarter to which user belongs. Then select user's interface language, and also into full name field enter user's full name. If necessary, you can make this user only status board user by checking this checkbox. It means that this user will have access only to AMG status board feature, which appears as a separate shortcut on the desktop after installing AMG Attendance system. The main idea of creating only status board users is that they will not be included in the count of simultaneously logged in users, which has license limitation. If enabling only status board user will appear show over time columns in status board checkbox. If you check it, then the user will be able to view also over time columns in status board. Enable only status board user checkbox if user should be a general user with possibility to access all features. Then go to SMTP server configuration part. This part is used for setting parameters for sending emails from the software. By default it is configured to use Gmail's SMTP server, and all emails are being sent from tam.admin.mail@gmail.com email address. If necessary, you can change configuration and use your own SMTP server parameters, or you can continue using Gmail's SMTP, but enter another Gmail account for sending emails. However, you change SMTP server configuration by clicking on Use Default button. The configuration will be changed to default parameters. Note that for changing any parameters regarding SMTP server configuration, we highly recommend you to consult with your company's system or network administrator. Next step is setting permissions for different features of the system. For that, go to Global Permissions tab. Here, in the first column, you will see all features available in the system. The order for columns represent can view, can add, can edit, and can delete permissions. If you enable checkboxes in the columns headers, Then for all features simultaneously will be granted corresponding permissions. You can set permissions also one by checking the corresponding box in the features row. Also, you can use these two buttons below for enabling or disabling all permissions for all features at once. After setting general permissions, go to Reports Permissions tab and select which reports user can view. Again, you can use these two buttons below for disabling or enabling permissions for all reports at once. Then go to Headquarters, Divisions, Groups, Devices tab. Here you should decide to which headquarters, divisions, groups, and devices user should have permissions to access. Using these two buttons below each table, you can enable or disable all items at once. But if you want to grant access not only to current existing items but also to all items that will be added later, then you should select all headquarters, all divisions, all groups, and all devices checkboxes. The last part of user configuration is granting permissions to view employees' sensitive data. Here in the Employee tab you can see which data are being considered as sensitive. They are employees' contact information, social security number, passport ID, birth date, and attached files. By default, all fields checkbox is enabled, which means that user has permissions to view data of all sensitive fields. If you want to restrict users' permissions regarding sensitive data, then uncheck All Fields box, and in the table, check only those fields to which user can have access. After finishing all described configuration, click OK button to save the changes and add the user. That's all about user configuration. Thank you for your attention.